Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am the Channeling Goddess. If you are new here, hi, hello. If you are returning back, welcome back. So today we are going to do a dream interpretation video. I found a pretty good one. I will say though, I think we're probably going to be figuring this one out together as we go along. I notice sometimes I get more messages when I'm doing these videos, so we're just going to roll with it and see how it turns out. Okay. Now, before we get started, just a couple of disclaimers. Disclaimer number one, these are my dreams and my own interpretations of my dreams. So while you may receive a different message, I can only tell you about what I am seeing. I will pull some cards at the end, like always, just to make sure that I'm not missing any additional messages for myself and for those who would like to get a message from these dream interpretations. Two, if you are looking to get a message, like I said, these are my dream interpretations. So if you are looking to get a message, it's helpful if you tap into your own intuition. And the way that I do this is by taking 3 mindful deep breaths, just wanting to get connected with my own intuition. So usually you can inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. It just calms down the body, calms down the mind, and help you be able to receive the messages that spirit might have for you. Now, before we get started, I keep hearing this, so I have to say it. For someone here, spirit is saying they've been trying to get a message to you and you are not listening. It doesn't have to be about this dream interpretation. This feels separate from this. Like I'm literally getting chills, but spirit is saying they've been trying to give you a message and you are not listening. So I would advise you to pay attention to the messages that spirit is giving you. It could be synchronicities. You could be seeing angel numbers. You could be like hearing the same song over and over again. Like you could dream about a song or something like that. Like whatever it is, spirit is saying that we're trying to give you a message and you're not listening. Okay. So back to the dream interpretation. So we will go ahead and get started. Make sure that you get your coffee, tea, alcohol, whatever it is that you need to get comfy and cozy, and let's just get started. Alrighty. So let's get started with the dream. It says, in another dream, someone highlights our neighbors across the street. Apparently, there is a white woman who gets inside of in the back of an SUV, and she looks pregnant. Okay. I'm not sure if someone asked me to figure out what the words on the side of the vehicle, on the side of the SUV that she's getting into, but I decided to look. Okay. I get in my car and I drive up to the side of the all black SUV, and I wonder if it's part of the show Cheaters and she's about to get caught cheating. Turns out the car is actually a car service for an apartment complex. I thought that was odd because I've never heard of that before. The writing was in a traditional purple, so it didn't look like dark purple, kind of more of a like lavender purple to me is what it looks like. Okay. And it says, I then turn around to back into my garage. So I turn my car back around to try and back into my garage. When I see the young lady who got into the car, I see her boyfriend, and I see her boyfriend ask them. So I'm assuming the people who are in the truck, in the SUV, he asks them to open the trunk. Okay. He pulls out what looks like is a brand new TV. And at first I was like, he got a TV out of the deal. But then he was holding it so casually that I figured there was something else in the box instead of just a TV. Okay. Then I saw a woman in red standing near their door, and I thought that was weird, seeing as how I have never seen her before. I start backing up into the garage again and realize that I'm in the wrong driveway. There is a white car in the garage. I pull out hoping no one sees me. Then I get out and see there are 4 cars that I can see that are now in my actual driveway, and I wonder who they belong to. Then I see all these newspapers in front of a trash can in front of my house. And there are a few trash bins. So there's like newspapers, but then they're like separate trash bins. I think there were like 3 or 4 of them. I start picking up the newspapers in plastic bags. Then a young woman comes over just as I'm tempted to read the paper. I say something and she thought I was judging her, but I wasn't, and I told her so. Then I hear something growling from one of the trash cans or trash bins, so I decide to leave, okay? So let's start from the beginning. Let's see what we get. So it says, in another dream, someone highlights our neighbors across the street. Apparently, the white woman gets into the back of the SUV and she looks pregnant. I think for me, this is talking about not judging a book by its cover, because I instantly thought, like, based on the black SUV, I don't know why, but it made me think of Cheaters, right? It instantly made me think of the show Cheaters. And the woman was fully pregnant. And I think for me, Spirit was trying to warn me to not, like, don't judge a book by its cover, right? Sometimes people are in a growing phase, right? Because I think of the woman being pregnant. Sometimes people are in a growing phase and things they're not always as they appear, right? They look different, they sound different, right? And even when I drove up to the side of the car, and I saw that it was in fact not Cheaters. It was the driving service for an apartment complex. Spirit is saying sometimes, because in the dream I was like, I never, seen that before. I didn't even know that was a thing. Spirit was saying sometimes we don't understand the things that are happening. Sometimes we don't understand the things that we are not aware of, right? So because we don't know or we're not familiar with it, it doesn't make it less real or less important. And I think a lot of times we judge ourselves and we see things, or what am I trying to say? That we don't understand, or we fear the things we don't understand. Thank you, Spirit. We fear the things that we don't understand. And in that dream, I was just trying to be nosy, just trying to see what was going on. And even when I saw it, I still didn't understand it. And sometimes things are not for us to understand, right? Sometimes we're just supposed to bear witness to certain things. And it's not meant for us to have a full understanding of it, okay? Even with the guy opening the back of the trunk, it didn't make sense to me. It was I guess it was her boyfriend or her partner that wanted them to open up the back of the trunk. It just seemed really weird to me that he was asking him to open up the trunk to get out a TV, but the way he was like holding the box was so casual. It's not the way someone would hold like a brand new TV. And I was just like, it must be something else in the box. Even then, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. And it's not meant for me to figure it out. I understand at this moment that I'm just supposed to be an observer, right? I'm just supposed to be looking. I'm not supposed to understand right now. I'm just supposed to be looking, okay? And then the lady who's like sitting on their like front porch, so to speak, with the all red, sometimes judgment has already been passed. I don't know why this is making me think of, is it the Hierophant? No, the Justice card. In the Justice card where the guy is sitting, he's sitting on a throne in red. For some reason, it's almost like Spirit is saying justice is already been called on a certain situation. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to figure this out. This is not for you, okay? So then when I am backing up and I back into the wrong garage, to me, Spirit was saying, once you have become the observer and you've gotten what you're supposed to get, focus back on your own life, right? Focus back on your own situation and see how you can apply this to your own life. And I was so busy trying to figure out what was going on with them that I pulled into somebody else's garage, right? I backed in to somebody else's garage, not really, like they were a next door neighbor, but it still wasn't my garage, okay? And then when I looked to go into my own garage, or my driveway, there was 4 cars and I had no idea who these, like the 4 cars, I had no idea who they were. I didn't know how they got there, right? Sometimes when we leave our own space to investigate somebody else's or try to figure out somebody else's, we forget about our own situation, our own homes. And I'm literally hearing, what is the song? Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. That's what Spirit is saying. Like, focus on you, right? Sometimes you're just supposed to be the observer because in some point in your life, You may need this message that you are seeing, like, because right now it's not meant for you to understand it, but it may make sense later in your own life. But if you're so focused on what's happening across the street, now you got 4 people who done just drove up in your driveway and you have no idea where they came from, right? And then the newspapers and the trash bins that was at the front, they were like think of it, the house is here, the driveway is here, they were like right here, like where you would normally put your trash can at the end of the road. And there were newspapers there, right? I feel like Spirit was saying that I need to clean up the trash in my own life, which is very harsh, but I get it. I need to clean up the trash in my own life. I need to understand the news about my own life before I can focus on anybody else. And even like the young woman who walked up and she thought I was trying to like talk about her or judge her. I had to correct her because had I been paying more attention to my own situation, had I been paying attention to like my own life and the things that are happening in my life, maybe I could have explained it more clearly, but I was so busy looking at other people's lives that I forgot I have my own life. I have my own things that I need to deal with. So I think, for this, particularly for me, Spirit was telling me to be careful, watch out for your own front door, right? Watch out for your own family. You don't need to worry about all the gossip and all the junk that's out there. You need to worry about your own space, your own journey, because we're all on a different journey, right? Just because, let's say, someone here is watching me is also a tarot reader and they're saying, well, I don't do what she does. Or someone here that's watching me may be a dream interpreter and say, well, I don't interpret my dreams like she does. It doesn't mean that my way or your way is wrong or right. It just means that there are different paths for all of us. We're all on a different path. We're all on our own special journey. And a lot of times our journey does not look like the other person. We are in a different phase and a different path in our life. Sometimes we may start out like this and then go completely different directions, and that's okay. I think it's important that we understand that is okay to not always go in the same direction as you may be a sister or a brother or somebody that you see on YouTube, whatever the case may be. So we are going to pull a couple of cards just to see what messages that, Spirit may have in addition to what I've already gotten from this dream. Okay, so let's see what messages Spirit will give us. Okay, Spirit, can we get 3 cards from this deck with some additional messages that we need to hear at this time? Okay, we got deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Okay. Oops. Then we have double mission. So it says light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. Yep. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your own doggone lane. This is some things you're just meant to observe. You're only meant to be an observer. Because sometimes looking at other situations will kind of give you an idea of how to, heal your own self, right? You're watching things happen. Sometimes you're just meant to be an observer. You're not meant to fix it. You're not meant to heal it. You're just meant to be an observer of somebody else's situation. So we say, look, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. Is not yours to carry. Yep. It's not yours. You're not meant to know everything. And then the bottom deck energy is earth. So it says learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Yep. Sometimes we have to let go of things that don't belong to us. Like we're always, not always, but a lot of times we're trying to take on other people's struggle. We're trying to take on other people's problem. And we forget that we have problems of our own. We have things of our own that we need to deal with. And it's okay to want to relax. And like, if you look at this card right here, she just looks like she's so relaxed and she's just like, I'm taking it easy. It is what it is. I'm not carrying something that doesn't belong to me. And Spirit, I feel like is asking me to let go of things that don't belong to me. Stop taking on other people's energy. Stop taking on other people's situation or time. Like take on your own. And then I'm gonna show you this one because it was sitting over there. It says Star Keeper. It says Cosmic Ancestor. See the light by staying grounded. Yes, stay grounded in your own energy. Stay with yourself. Like literally be more in tune with yourself. Be one with you, who you are. Because we can't fix everybody. We cannot fix everybody. And sometimes we just want to be messy. I know I'm guilty of this. Being in everybody's business and not my own. And sometimes when we're in other people's business, like we're messing up our own situation, right? Those 4 cars in the dream, I had no idea who those cars were. I never saw them get out the car. Is because I was so focused on the people across the street, my neighbors across the street, that I forgot to turn around and look at my own stuff. Like I'm literally keep hearing that song, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Like literally. Spirit, can we get 2 cards, please, with any additional messages for us? Sometimes we just need some alone time. We need to let go of the weight of the world because it doesn't belong to us. And then we have B. It says community, cooperation, sweetness. And then we have earth, peace, grounding. Yep, ground that energy. Seriously, was that on here? Yeah, stay grounded. Yeah, ground your own energy. And I think for me, this also talks about being grounded in your own situation. Not saying that you have to be selfish, but you need to understand how to learn to stay in your lane, right? In your own community, cooperating and enjoying the sweetness of your own life instead of trying to dip into everybody else's situation because it's not for you, okay? And then we have bird, freedom, and opportunity on this card. Sometimes we miss out on opportunities. Sometimes we miss out on things that are for us. And I want you to say for us, sometimes we delay. I don't want to say miss out. Sometimes we delay things that are for us because we're so focused on healing everybody else. We're so focused on fixing other people that we have not stopped to fix our own garden. We have not stopped and tended to our own situation, okay? Let's get some additional last 2 cards. Oop. Let's get last 2 cards. Any additional messages that Spirit might have for us? Can we get 2 cards, please, Spirit? Any additional messages you may have for us, ancestors and spirit guides? Oop. That was a lot. Yee. There we go. Got it. Okay. Is that upside down? Okay, we got the Brawler. It says lack of empathy, confrontation. Okay, can we get 1 more card, please? And then we have the Puppeteer, explanations, apologies. And then under the bottom, we have Acolyte. So it says new projects, learning. Yep, so listen. Sometimes, a lot of times, we are in other people's business that has nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us, okay? Spirit is saying your lack of empathy and need for confrontation. Like in the dream, listen, I wanted all the tea. I wanted all the tea, everything, give it all to me, right? But it wasn't mine, right? I was just meant to be an observer, right? But observing with the intention to learn, right? Not just observing, but observing with the intention to learn, right? And we oftentimes will set ourselves up in a situation where we have inserted ourselves in a situation. Like I could have just stayed in my driveway, right? And saw what I needed to see from the driveway. But instead I wanted to go over and investigate and see what's on the side. So I can say, oh my God, girl, guess what? The cheaters, the cheaters people were over here yesterday to the neighbors across the street. Girl, she cheating. That baby probably ain't even hers. Listen, our spirit was telling me, stay out of other people's business. Right? This thing says brawler. We're not like, stop fighting, right? Sometimes you get into other people's business and it ends up you being in a fight. It ends up in you being hurt. Spirit is saying, stop putting yourself in confrontational situations because it's a lack of empathy. Like even in that situation, I just wanted the tea so that I could spread it. Not because I was looking to help her, not because I was looking to help myself, but I wanted the tea so that I can spread it. It's a lack of empathy, not understanding that not all stories are meant to be shared. That's somebody's personal life that I'm talking about, right? And Spirit is saying, to let go of this lack of empathy that we have where we just want to be in people's business. We're not trying to learn anything. We just want to get the tea so that we can tell our neighbors or we can tell somebody else. And then you have the Puppeteer, explanation, apologies. Spirit is saying that a lot of this need for us to have everybody else's information, it comes out of I don't want to say a necessity, because that's not the right word, but it comes out of maybe a certain training or being raised a certain way, where we feel like we need to get this information, we need to get that. And it's because a lot of times we're afraid and we're uncomfortable with facing ourselves. I can tell you in my own personal life, when I was a kid, there was no facing yourself, right? I'm gonna face you. I can face you all day, but facing me, right? The thing that's in me, no, I want to face you. And Spirit is saying that sometimes, a lot of times on this journey, especially in the spiritual journey, you go inward, all right? That dark night of the soul is you going inward. That's you facing the pieces and the parts of you that you have like let fester for years, right? You've let somebody else control you, right? And sometimes we have that false positivity, right? Where we're like, I'm just going to let it go. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And we don't face those things in us that hurt us. We don't face those things in us that make us feel uncomfortable. And a lot of times that's why we want the mess. That's why we want the other stuff, because it validates something within us that we haven't healed yet. And Spirit is saying that a lot of us, we're going to get explanations for why we do this. I'm also getting therapy might be a good option for those of us who have not started it yet. Spirit is saying therapy might be a good option because it will allow us to cut the cords of the puppeteer that has kept us in this situation where we feel like we need all this information, where we feel like, we want the mess and junk. Spirit is saying that we also need to forgive ourselves, like this apologies. We need to forgive ourselves that we are not where we hope we will be. Some of us don't want to be like this, but we feel like we can't help it. And Spirit is saying, forgive yourself. We understand things are not always perfect. Things are not always the way that we want them to be, but there is forgiveness here. There is understanding here. There is a different light coming from here, right? Something new is happening, right? And we're moving out of this space because we're being called out right now. I know for me, I definitely feel called out right now. Spirit is definitely calling me out right now. And it's okay, because I want to grow. I want to accept the things about me that are not the best, right? That don't look the greatest in the mirror, but I still want to face them, because the only way to get better is to face those things about me. That deep, like this talked about, that deep cellular healing those emotional and physical parts of us that we let fester for so long because we've been dealing with a lot of toxic positivity, right? We're just always going to be all right, and never really facing it, never going inward, closing our eyes and not looking outward, but looking inward, right? And I don't know if you noticed, but all of these women have their eyes closed. It's about going inward. It's about facing the things within us that we have not faced before, the things that we've let fester, the things that we've let sit there, and they just turn into a big ball of mass and hurt and pain. And because of that, we need validation by seeing other people hurt and seeing other people struggle. Okay. So this is all that I have for us. I did pretty good today. I got less than 30 minutes. I did pretty good today, but I really hope you enjoyed this dream interpretation. I would love to hear some of the things that you want to let go of, some of the hurts and pains that you're digging into during your dark night of the soul. I would love to hear about it in the comments. And like I said, this is all that I have for you. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time in your next video. Bye.